Last year, I had a device put into my chest to help regulate my heart. I have lived with a heart condition my whole life, so a lot of things that probably weren't normal just felt normal to me. But after 2 scares that sent me to the ER, my doctor said it was time. And sitting with all of that, I had more time to think than I'd had in years. And I started seeing things I'd been avoiding. How much of my life I had spent getting ready to live it. Always planning, always preparing, always one more thing away from starting. And at some point, it just hit me. Life was moving whether I moved or not. So I stopped waiting. I've lived with this my whole life, so a lot of things that were probably warning signs just felt normal to me. Managing my symptoms, slowing down, pushing through. Even after I had my daughter, I knew something wasn't quite right, but when something's been your normal for such a long period of time, you stop questioning it and just adapt until last year. My heart went over 200 beats per minute, twice. Both times I ended up in the ER. And after the second time, my doctor told me it was time to get an ICD. The procedure itself wasn't the biggest moment for me. It was what came after. Everything slowed down. And for the first time in a long time, I had space to really look at my life, not just react to it, but actually look at it. And honestly, this didn't just start with my heart. I think something dramatically shifted in me when I turned 30. I don't know if it was something that was biological or the fact that time was actually moving and not waiting for me to be ready. And I started to see things differently, especially watching my daughter. Every year she's becoming more of who she is, and it made me realize she's not just growing, she's watching me. Watching me building my life, watching the moves that I take or don't. She sees it all. And at the same time, I had just left a job that I was at for 8 years to pursue the career that I'm currently in. And that in itself is a big move. But that didn't even fully get me to moving either. I was still in this space of gathering information, researching everything, planning everything, preparing for every possible version of what could go wrong. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was doing everything but actually going. And then everything with my heart happened. And that's when it really hit me. Not as a concept, but as something real. Life is not guaranteed, and I didn't want to look back and realize I spent mine in preparation mode. So I started moving on the things I kept telling myself I would do one day. I optimized my credit. I bought the car I had been wanting for years. I found my Canadian citizenship. I invested in my health, and I got braces at 31. None of it was perfect, but I was no longer standing still. Around that time, I had HurArt. Everything was going smooth. I was growing, taking clients. But honestly, before my procedure, I had already been coming to the realization that being behind a chair long term was not sustainable for me. And my whole entire procedure, when I had the time to sit back and really think, that's when it cemented it. It's not that I hate it. I still do hair, and I occasionally sit down for the right person. But offering it as a service long term just isn't something that's sustainable for me. So HurArt had to evolve. And honestly, so did I. Nothing about my life is perfect. I am still actively figuring it out. But something has genuinely changed. I don't wait anymore. I move first and adjust as I go. I would rather be someone that has lived my life imperfectly but fully than someone who has had every plan laid out but refused to leave the starting line. My ICD gives me something I didn't expect, not just security. It gives me a reminder that life is fragile and that I'm still here, still building, still figuring it out, still choosing to move. And I am so grateful for that because I know my story is still being written. So, welcome to what seems like season 2 of my life. And I am genuinely so happy that you're here for it.